Hi, this is my fish tank, and I've had it for about 8 years now, and there's currently 240 gallons. There's lots of different corals and fish in here. Mary is currently looking at the anemone, and that's where the clownfish like to hide. That's their home. Below that, there is some corals. The red one on the left is what we call Gonapora, and the green one next to it is called a hammer coral. And if you look at the little polyps, they look like hammers. A couple different chalices, really beautiful colors. The orange and green really show up very nicely under blue light. Some favias, and if you go further to the right, there's a clam. This is a photosynthetic clam. The clam gets most of its energy from sunlight, and you'll see if a fish goes close to it, it'll probably retract, or not. Most of the time it does retract. There's also a bunch of what we call small polyp corals, and so the red and green corals that look like dinner plates, there's not rock, that's actually living coral, and they grow as they get bigger. You'll see that we have yellow tang also in the main picture, and they are predominantly from Hawaii, a very common fish in the aquarium. You can see we also have dory, called blue tang, and dory has been with me probably now for more than 14-15 years now, actually. One of my oldest fish. Used to have a smaller tank, and he followed me over from the original tank. We have all different types of corals in here. You can see that if you look closely, a lot of the corals have little polyps moving, and those polyps are what they use to eat. They eat a lot of plankton, what we call rotifers, zooplanktons. You go further up, you'll see a couple of our wrasses. They're swimming around. They're very colorful fish and have a lot of personality. They just clean up a lot of the stuff on the reef. So they eat a lot of pests and everything like that. That's our big fish, whaley, that just came by. Believe it or not, he is about 7 or 8 inches. He's really a big fish. One of not the oldest actually, but he grows one of the quickest that we have. If you look down at the very bottom, these are different types of large polyp corals, and again, these are very colorful. You can see like very beautiful greens, reds, oranges, gold color. The big one that looks like a donut, that's called a brain coral. It actually looks like a brain because it has a lot of folds, and you can actually see it's feeding, so his polyps are up. You zoom in really closely, you can see the mouth, and you see little cilia kind of trying to grow, trying to eat the food inside the fish tank. Yeah, so that's pretty much the tank. If you go over to the right here, in the middle, you can see a torch coral. That's the reason why it's a torch, because it looks like a fire, kind of. And those long tentacles are really they use those to eat also. And then you go to the right, bottom right, you can see a goby. He just went inside there to hide. Actually, maybe he's a little shy at the moment. Not coming out. But yeah, Mary will show you this side of the tank. There's a lot more corals. All in all, I probably have around 70 or 80 corals in here. They're pretty. Some of them are small, and we're starting them out, and then other ones are already pretty big. It's quite nice about the hobby is you can, once they get big enough, you can basically propagate them. It's just like pruning. You can basically cut off pieces and trade them in for other corals. More or less, my regimen is I change the water probably once a month. You know, I'd say if you have a smaller aquarium, probably that's not a good idea. One of the benefits of having a large aquarium is you can go longer without having to change water because you have a better biological filter that's more established. So typically the homeostasis is good because you know you have larger water volume, so you basically don't need to worry about fluctuations in your chemistry or your temperature or your pH or anything like that. So that's one of the reasons why you can go longer without having to change the water. So that's it. If you have any other questions, feel free to message me.